Alright, it's your man King Kronos, aka DJ Kronos, aka OMG Peasants. Listen here. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. As you see in the title down below, I'm about to watch and review this Batman Beyond vs. Spider-Man 2099. Screw attack death battle. Hopefully no one calls me in the meantime, because then I have to pause and I have to pause. It's gonna be like a lot. But yeah, I'm about to get into it right now. It's about 19 minutes, about 20 minutes long. You know, there's a commercial somewhere in there. I'm gonna try to edit that out, unless I have a funny reaction to it funny in my opinion. But yeah, I probably watched at least every episode of Batman Beyond at least 3 times. At least 3 times. So feel me. I've never seen anything for Spider-Man 2099.
Everyone wants to see it.
I've never seen.
It has robots, flying cars, and
I
of
never
course,
read a comic of either one.
The future still has those,
but with all
they're
that
even
being
cooler
said, I'm kind of
because of all the
favorite to
sweet
my boy
gadgets.
Batman
like
Beyond.
Terry McGinnis, the Batman Beyond.
Batman is
And
the
Miguel O'Hara, the Spider-Man from
mind behind the
2099.
suit.
He's Wiz and
the
I'm
suit.
Boomstick.
It's
And
like
it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and
enhancements
skills to find out who
Terry
will win
McGinnis
a
already.
death battle.
So if we about to get into it right now, let's see what they talking about. Starting off with Batman Beyond
Terry
right here.
McGinnis was your
Turn my
average
phone on
futuristic
silent.
high school student.
He went to future raves, complained about future problems, had a future girlfriend. Yeah, you know, the usual.
Until one fateful day when Terry got into a fight with a group of jokers.
What's he got against comedians?
No, a gang called the Jokers. You know, like
Yeah.
the Joker.
Ah, but with a Z, because it's the future.
Well, naturally. After possibly the most dangerous motorcycle chase ever put on television,
Yeah, it's cool, he's got a helmet.
Terry found himself
Damn,
inside an
it's
isolated
gays.
mansion owned by an elderly billionaire named Bruce Wayne. Here, he stumbled upon the most
Kyrie
important
Tanega?
revelation in his life.
Bruce Wayne is Batman! Oh, what a surprise!
You didn't get
Well,
your show?
more like he was
Maybe it's the
Batman. He
comics.
retired from crime fighting years ago, because, you know, age is a bitch.
Wait a minute, after decades of secrecy, a punk teenager just happens to stumble into the Batcave? For crying out loud, if he'd found my secret lair, he'd have been vaporized on the spot.
Yeah. Anyway, Terry's roller coaster of a day still wasn't over. Turns out his dad got murdered.
Dad?
The first episode was crazy.
Bummer. So he did what any emotionally charged teen who wants to avenge their dad would do. He stole the bat suit.
But not the old cape and cowl of yesteryear. This was the
Yeah.
latest and most advanced
Yeah.
Batsuit. Terry McGinnis didn't just become the all-new Batman. He was Batman Beyond.
You ever wonder what would happen if Batman got a hold of an Iron Man suit? It's basically that. And damn, he looks friggin' rad.
The Batsuit's nanotechnology greatly enhances his strength and provides several thin yet strong layers of ballistic and environmental protection.
And he can fly. He can soar faster
can.
than a speeding future car, and he's really nimble in the air. Plus, he can always give his punches and kicks a literal rocket boost.
The suit sports over 24 other gadgets for combat and espionage. He has a wrist-mounted grappling hook that can extend over 50 feet. There's a cloaking device, a lock decoder, finger microphones, climbing claws, an underwater breather, thermal and binocular vision, extendable spikes on his arms, flashbang grenades, triple-weighted bolas, a buzzsaw, and even retractable tweezers.
Splinters are no laughing matter. And don't forget all those sweet, sweet batarangs. These new age ninja stars are even sharper and more compact than before, and they come in a variety of delightful flavors, like explosive, ensnaring, and electrifying. Terry's got a solid throwing arm and can even disarm multiple opponents with a single shot. But if he's feeling a bit lazy, he can always just use his arm launchers to fire batarang discs.
Also, when anyone gets in too close, the whole suit can act like a man-sized taser. The electric shock is strong enough to stun people spliced with animal DNA and short out heavy machinery.
But the tools don't make the man, Batman. Terry's a master martial artist with plenty of training from legends like former Robin Dick Grayson, totally real ninja Kyrie Tanaka,
that?
and the former Dark Knight himself. Well, once he got over the kid stealing his suit, of course.
Bruce Wayne doesn't just serve as Terry's mentor. He's also a constant source of advice and information on the go through his direct link to the Batsuit from the Batcave.
Edge right there.
Good thing, too, since Terry's not exactly the world's greatest detective. At least not compared to the old man.
Bruce is extremely intelligent and an expert analyst. Plus, the Batcave has some very impressive technology. Not only does it host one of the most powerful supercomputers on the planet, it's also completely dependent on its own hydroelectric power supply and isolated network.
Still, I don't care who Bruce used to be. Having an old guy barking orders in your ear sounds annoying.
This
like
beat
your
just
dad's
goes so
always
hard,
looking over
like-
your shoulder. Or at least I imagine, because I didn't have one.
Well, Terry
Might
is
sample
Bruce
this.
Wayne's secret son.
What?
In an effort to ensure there would always be a Batman, government boogeywoman Amanda Waller had secretly overwritten Warren McGinnis's reproductive DNA with that of Bruce Wayne's.
So, like, he was just blasting Wayne babies? It's like all the fun what you could get out of any child support case. And bonus, I guess Terry's father technically wasn't murdered. Good for him.
Wait,
also,
whoa.
he's got all the benefits from Bruce's kick-ass genes.
Even before going through combat training, Terry was a skilled fighter, strong enough to send opponents flying with a single punch.
In the suit, he's strong enough to lift large I-beams and this giant boulder.
He's even survived getting his leg trapped under Bruce Wayne's trophy penny.
What's so special about a penny?
Just look at it.
Holy colossal currency, Batman!
The penny's diameter is easily 20 feet wide and is frequently dated from the 1940s. This means the penny is likely composed of bronze and weighs around 166 tons.
That's more
But
than
how
enough
did
to
he
crush
get the
all
penny
bones
in there
your
while
foot,
he's
but
seeing
not
the penny?
Terry. He was up and at him like nothing happened. I mean, this guy's tough enough to take a missile to the face and then fall hundreds of stories. And all he got out of it was a couple broken ribs. What's a penny as heavy as 33 monster trucks gonna do?
He's quick enough to dodge gunfire, skilled enough to defeat lizard people and the Justice Lord. In a newer suit, he could fire concussive pulse blasts and even outraced an intercontinental missile, which can reach speeds of up to 15,000 miles per hour. That's over 19 times the speed of sound.
He's
How come he
still
can't
no
renew
Bruce
this?
Wayne, though. He's kind of a punk and doesn't have the amazing
Come on,
smarts
get
or
a movie.
expertise of Batman Classic.
You don't quite have his magnificent brain, for instance. You do have his heart, though.
Maybe not, but he has accomplished feats equal to his predecessor, like
Fuck
fighting
Superman,
Superman and ending the Joker threat once and for all. Clearly, Terry McGinnis has more than earned the title of Batman.
You're pretty strong for some clown who thinks he's Batman.
I am Batman. So, here's an unfortunate
Yeah, it's
spoiler.
cartoon.
The year 2099 kinda sucks.
Plagued by a
What's this guy
massive
talking
civil
about?
war between humans and mutants, the world fell into a dystopian ruin of violence and anarchy. The heroic age had come to an end.
But some people still wanted a sequel.
Enter Miguel O'Hara, a child prodigy turned super genius with a penchant for genetic tinkering.
Miguel's skills landed him a job at one of the biggest companies in the world, Alchemax, where he got to work trying to rebuild one of the greatest heroes of all time, Spider-Man.
Specifically, he attempted to replicate the DNA of Peter Parker, the original Spider-Man. But like most of the 21st century superheroes, not much remained of Parker outside of stories and legend. Miguel had to build his experiment from scratch, starting with a single, simple spider.
Unfortunately, Alchemax didn't have the greatest job security. After a lot of bad blood and some spilled blood, Miguel wound up accidentally getting a dose of his own creepy crawly project.
Transforming him into the Spider-Man of 2099.
What's that?
But future Spider-Man isn't quite the same as your grandpappy's Spidey.
That's right. Apart from the superhuman strength, speed, durability, and improved healing, Miguel's powers are entirely different. Unlike Parker, he can't actually stick to any surface. He can still wall crawl though, using retractable talons on his fingers and toes, which also make for fairly deadly weapons in a fight.
And he's got fangs like a vampire. If he bites you, he can inject a venom that can paralyze your whole body almost instantly. Also, he may not have Petey's trusty spider sense, but his sense of sight, smell, and hearing are superfied. He can hear
What
noises
is
from
that? I
miles
wanna
away,
see that.
see in the dark, and make out far off and fast-moving objects with ease.
In fact, his senses are so acute, he wears tinted glasses to keep daylight from hurting his eyes.
And like any Spider-Man, he can shoot
probably a
webs from
game.
his hands.
Miguel doesn't need compact web shooter devices on his wrists. He actually has organic spinnerets in his arms, which create and release thick, durable strings of webbing. Because they're natural, these strings are chemically identical to spider silk, with a tensile strength similar to steel.
Ew. Okay, the original Spider-Man always kind of grossed me out, but this guy's powers are disgusting.
I think Miguel would agree with you.
Well, yeah, one day he's just your average dweeb doing sciencey stuff like you, and the next he's got big lumps in his arms which shoot sticky stuff? Who wouldn't be weirded out?
Miguel saw his newfound power as a curse, a blight which turned him into an inhuman freak of nature.
But that didn't stop him from fighting crime, complete with his own Spidey suit.
His original costume was made from unstable molecules, allowing the use of his talons without tearing the fabric. He also wears a web-like cape made of light bite, which lets him glide through the air.
Whoa, Light Bright! I remember that. Man, do they still have that in the future? And did they find a way to stop you losing those little pegs?
Light bite.
Yeah, whatever. The suit looks pretty cool, so I hate to spoil the mood, but it's actually just a run-of-the-mill costume from a Day of the Dead festival. No, really.
Though after meeting the present-day Peter Parker, Miguel received a much-needed upgrade. His new suit contained synthesized unstable molecule fabric mixed with Kevlar, greatly improving...
What? Aw, come on. Went to a commercial. And they're gonna do another one when they do their...
his defense.
This suit can survive a shot from a howitzer artillery cannon. A common M777 military howitzer fires 92-pound shells at 2,200 feet per second. That hits with over 100 tons of force.
Miguel's even taken a hit from the Thing, a hit which shattered a tempered glass window and sent Miguel flying over 2 dozen
Thanks to the
feet.
live.
And the new suit has explosives, hologram projectors, infrared scanning, and it's even got wings and rocket boosters on the feet. Wait, that sounds familiar.
Miguel may be a genius, but he's at his best when he's working with his holographic assistant, Lila, or the Lie-Rate Lifeform Approximation.
She's basically like the future Alexa with a bunch of extra features. She keeps track of Miguel's life signs and surroundings. With Lila's scanners and his super senses, anyone would have a hard time trying to sneak up on future Spidey.
While Lila was originally built as a home appliance, she can be stored on Miguel's portable communicator. She can act
Usually
as
I'm
an
able
onboard lie
to get a
detector
gist of
and
who's
do
gonna
advanced
win
calculations
if I
to the
watch
20th
both
decimal in a
or
millisecond, which is flippin' amazing.
knew about
Fun fact,
both.
Lila's appearance was based on Marilyn Monroe.
Not that anybody in 2099 seems to know who Marilyn Monroe was. Okay, seriously, how did they lose so much information in less than 100 years? Remember, kids, always back up your files. It'll prevent the apocalypse.
Well, lucky for them, Miguel got over his emo phase and
forgot
started
who.
setting the future back on track. And he had the skills to do it.
He's quick enough to dodge gunfire, tough enough to take a shotgun blast to the chest, resilient enough to tank electric shocks, and strong enough to rip a 20-ton turret off a tank.
More than that, he helped another Spider-Man keep this giant building piece in place. What even is that?
Likely some sort of antenna, but it also resembles the mooring mast atop the Empire State Building.
Back when everybody thought Zeppelins were the hot new thing. Because who doesn't like riding a giant flammable balloon full of explosive gas? Sign me up!
Assuming it's composed of steel and roughly estimating its size compared to the Spider-Man on the roof, then comparing the Empire State Building's mooring mast, this should weigh, at most, 200 tons.
So basically, Miguel's a badass, and he proved it in the most epic way possible. After rebuilding the world with Captain America, Miguel inherited the most legendary weapon of them all, Mjolnir.
Okay.
Although Thor's hammer didn't actually grant him its warrior powers, Miguel didn't use it as a weapon, but as proof of his authority, a literal symbol of the societal weight he alone could carry.
He got some
His dominance
cojones.
asserted, Miguel created the utopian future a person
got
could
some
only
balls.
dream of.
And you thought Peter Parker was cool. This Spider-Man is at the top.
Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man of the year 2099.
That's me, ready to save the universe and looking
That's
good
not
while
a
doing it.
Spanish accent, but I mean, who knows what Spanish
All right,
accent
the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for
I'm
all.
pretty sure to be the
But
same.
first, the future is
Alright, let's get it
now in
cracking.
the form of Blue
Let's get it
Apron.
cracking. Yeah.
Grandpappy Boomstick always said that nothing in life is better than good food and making something with your own two hands. And Blue Apron is both those.
It's time to get it cracking. Excuse me.
McGinnis, keep an eye out. I've been seeing some odd reports regarding this part of the city.
Hey, Bozo! I was brooding there.
Who the shock are you?
Who was shot by you? Okay, must be some kind of weird.
Right back at you, baddie. Hey, Lila, get me a reading on this vampire guy, yeah?
Of course, Miguel. I can't identify his tech or fighting style, but I can try hacking his suit.
He's too comfortable in the air. Try a different approach. Get to ground level.
I can't move! Damn, that hurt.
Something's trying to hack your suit. Our new friend, no doubt.
How's the hack going?
Nowhere fast.
Get in close and finish this quick.
No problem. Can my fangs pierce his suit?
I think so.
Then I'll finish this myself.
Oh. Son. Oh. Watch out for the hands. Oh.
Lila!
Explosion.
Lila! And problem solved.
I guess that's one way to do it.
I'll never get tired of seeing people blow up. It's always such a blast.
Thanks to Bruce's counsel, Terry used his flashbang to take advantage of Miguel's sensitive eyesight, and his electric shock that can short out large machinery to deal with Lila.
Yeah, unlike Bruce, the poor girl wasn't really built for combat. And while her hacking skills were top-notch, the isolated Batcave had the defenses to hold her off.
Even still, Terry's stats edged out Miguel's in more ways than one.
When it came to maneuverability and durability, they were mostly even. Both could dodge bullets and weave through the air. Both could survive heavy ballistic hits. But unlike Terry, Miguel's never outraced anything faster than a Mach 19 ballistic missile.
For physical strength, Terry had him beat too. Recall that boulder that he lifted underwater. This took place in Superman's Fortress of Solitude near the Arctic.
Alright,
so
so
the boulder was
back
likely
along.
composed of sedimentary dark limestone, the most common
saying a
rock
whole
type
bunch of
around
stats
that
and
location.
stuff.
So we compared Terry's height to the boulder, applied the density for limestone, and subtracted the weight reduced by underwater buoyancy, to find the boulder's weight to be 192 tons.
And he tossed it aside like it was nothing. Terry's peak strength in the Batsuit has to be more than 200 tons.
Assuming Miguel applied his fair share when holding up that antenna, his best strength feat we know of is at max 100 tons.
But he's a Spider-Man. Spider-Man can lift more than that, right?
Not usually. Technically, Miguel's powers are so different from Peter's that we shouldn't really scale him to other Spider-Men. But for the benefit of the doubt, let's do it anyway.
We'll check out two of Spider-Man's most impressive strength feats. The first is the time he braced a private jet while it was landing. Look at him! He's literally the landing gear.
According to Spider-Man himself, the plane's total weight was at most 115,000 pounds. Adding the thrust from a Whittle W1 engine, which this small jet is most likely to have an engine comparable to, this feat comes out to 58 tons.
Not even close to Terry's 200. Then there was this one time where Spidey had to push way past his limits to lift what he offhandedly compared to as a locomotive. Since he could measure the plane, it's likely he's accurate here, but given the time period, that's still only 130 tons at most.
It's clear Terry had a pretty sizable physical advantage. And just because Terry's mind wasn't as fine-tuned as the original Batman's, didn't mean he's dumb.
Even more, Miguel never trained like Terry did. Hell, he never really had much formal training at all. But Terry was trained by ninjas, stealth artists, and other crime fighters to be a master in the battlefield. And since Miguel didn't have a spider sense, Terry just had to wait until the untrained future Spidey left an opening.
In short, while Miguel wasn't completely outmatched, Terry's superior strength, counseling, equipment, and training won the bout.
Turns out this Batman was beyond him.
The winner is Batman
killed
Beyond.
him. Did Terry ever kill anybody?
Stick around, we're about to announce the
Batman
combatants
care?
for the next death battle.
And if you want to watch exclusive
Let's see who's gonna
commentary
be in
on
the
this
next
episode,
episode.
click that little box over there and start a first membership trial.
Try to grab one of these shirts too.
fit me. Press and pull. What's that? They just did it. The other people that do this just did a Virgil versus the DBX people. Let's see. It don't even matter. Alright, anyway. Who I thought won, or who I wanted to win, did win. So, we're going to leave it at that. I hope my reaction was sufficient enough to grant me some views. Maybe some subscriptions. Anyway, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. It's your boy King Kronos, aka DJ Kronos, aka OMG you peasants. Yeah. I like that. No one called. But, you know. Anyway, I'm out. I'm about to chop this up, do what I gotta do, and then, you know.
Now watch me cook, ho. Now watch me cook.
We out.
Now watch me cook, ho.